Let's talk today about villains in Spider-Man 2. We already know of quite a few that are going to be in the game, and today we can speculate a little bit and get a better idea of who we could expect in the next game this fall. The obvious big baddie this year is Venom. Now the question is, we talked about this on a previous video, the identity of Venom, who it is. Brian Intihar commented that Venom is not Eddie Brock. This leaves a huge gap into who it could be, and there's a lot of speculation out there that Venom, it could be Peter, that is actually turning into Venom. There is a possibility there, but I kind of scrapped that because I don't think Peter would ultimately go down that path. I think at the very end of it all, there is going to be a separation of the symbiote and Peter, that he is not going to turn himself over into Venom. Although it would be a very interesting twist. Maybe they are going to go down that path and Miles is the one that has to bring him back. There's the possibility that it is Norman Osborn, that it is Harry Osborn. Those are the more obvious candidates, but Insomniac Games loves to put their own original twist on everything. We do know with the deleted scene that the symbiote is there with Harry, and well, it seems kind of obvious that it would be Harry at this point. It's all going to be in the story and the journey and how we get there. I think it's going to make it the most interesting. Now with the latest trailer, we did get a very good idea from Kraven as he was handed his tablet and he's looking at New York City and going on the big hunt and hunting for Spider-Man. By the way, I think this story element is absolutely awesome. I love Kraven is going to be in this, and I think it's going to add such a good dimension to it that he is hunting Spider-Man, but also hunting others. And as we go through this tablet, we get a better sense of who the possible villains, side missions could be in Spider-Man 2. Right off the bat, we get the image of Black Cat in New York City. We had a lot of Black Cat in 2018's Marvel Spider-Man. I do believe she's going to make an appearance again and give us more side missions to work with. But again, it'll be very interesting to see if there's going to be an element of Kraven involved where Spider-Man has to save her and the two of them team up. Next one is going to be Prowler. Now, Prowler was very prominent in Miles Morales. I thought the entire story between Aaron and Miles was really good, and give it to Insomniac Games for making a compelling story here. And the boss fight was a lot of fun. And if you're familiar with the comics or anything else, you would know that this is the direction they were heading in. But with the tablet scene given as an indicator of Prowler being added to the list, it makes me wonder if we are going to see Spider-Man going up against Prowler at all, Miles getting involved, and really what's Kraven's role going to be with that, if he is going to have another side mission in the game. Then we have Wraith, which is going to be new. Now with Spider-Man 2018, we know that Yuri, through all of the missions and everything, eventually becomes Wraith. Finding all of the clues, the recordings, everything, all the messages left by Yuri, I think that this is going to be a larger story that they are going to tell within this entire game. But a really big question is going to be, where in the story is this going to come into play, as Spider-Man is, as we've seen, now has the symbiote on him. His attitude is changing. Is it going to be cut and dry? Is it going to happen before the symbiote gets to Peter and the story with Wraith is happening throughout, or is it going to happen, throughout the entire game, beginning to end, where we see Peter's interactions with all of these characters, people from his past, but now he has the symbiote in him, and is going to alter things and change the way he interacts with Black Cat or Yuri in this case, and how those fight sequences are going to go. The tablet continues and it shows Tombstone. We did get the boss fight of Tombstone in Spider-Man 2018, and it'd be cool to have this once again. Spider-Man beats Tombstone, go figure, in the first game, goes to jail, that's the end. So it's going to be neat to see if he breaks out of jail, if he is teaming up with other villains like Kingpin or anybody else, or are we going to see an element of like Kraven has taken down Tombstone, maybe even early on in the game, and Peter's not aware of who is doing this, who is taking down other villains, and it's not anybody he's familiar with. The tablet continues to pan, and we obviously get Spider-Man that he's hunting for, and Miles. Now, if we look in the top right corner, this is where we get some more interesting details, because you look at the prison, and you're gonna see, well, basically the Sinister Six is all locked up. The first image they show here is very blurry, but to me, it kind of looks like it's gonna be Scorpion. They then got an image of Rhino, Doc Ock. The next one I think is actually going to be Adrian Toomes, the Vulture. And then you have Kingpin. Now I find this very interesting that all the Sinister Six are locked up in the Raft, the big, huge security prison. Leads me to speculate that maybe Kraven is going to break them out of jail, create more chaos, maybe even break them out so that he can hunt them. Somehow I do think that Sinister Six are somehow going to get out of the prison, allowing them to properly team up and try to take down Miles and Peter. But this is where, again, the story could be very, very interesting with the symbiote involved, with Peter going too far, getting too aggressive, and starting to really take down the Sinister Six, even beyond what Spider-Man normally would do. We saw this actually with Spider-Man the Animated Series. If you remember the Bell Tower, when he's going up and he's fighting Shocker and he's going way, way too far, and Shocker's actually trying to get him to stop. One of the best cartoons of all time, by the way. And I think we could see something very similar in this game. Not only could we see Peter going too far with Miles, like we saw in the trailer, where he's getting too aggressive and he's showing that anger and the way he's just throwing pedestrians around, but also how he interacts with a lot of the other supervillains he's already been dealing with over the years. Likewise, if you pan down with the tablet down to the Queen's area, you can see Shocker's image pop up too, which again, if he's loose, that's going to be another villain for Spider-Man to go after. And then below that, just down south of Brooklyn, you are looking at Taskmaster, who we've dealt with heavily in Spider-Man 2018. And to the left of that, we have the Lizard, which we have seen in a lot of the cutscenes already, where they're doing the big chase to the Lizard, which is going to have probably a larger story component in the game. Now, because this game has Miles and Peter, I think that we have a great shot of seeing even more villains added to the game to really beef it up. I trust Insomniac Games to not overdo it where you feel like there's just a new villain coming at you every minute, but it's the world of Spider-Man, and we want to be able to see these beloved characters, villains, all come to life, even if it is just teasing certain things that they could be there in the future. Like, for example, I don't think that we're going to get Carnage at all in this, but this could be something that they could tease down the road, where if they are going to have a breakout of the Raft prison, there could be audio files or anything else, evidence that's going to suggest Cletus Cassidy is in the prison. And those are the little touches that I love with Insomniac Games that they do with Spider-Man and with Miles. Little hints and drops throughout the world so that they could build something in the future. But having two main superheroes in there of Miles and Peter, it feels like we could end up with an even bigger world within the world of New York City. The potential for leaving New York is in there too. They could also expand this out if we want to be able to introduce more villains, like get Chameleon in there. That's a great pick. And frankly, one of the big ones that is probably going to happen, and I really wouldn't be surprised, is going to be Goblin, just Green Goblin, whether it's going to be Norman or Harry, or if they heavily tease it within the game. But comment below, what villains do you want to see? Who do you expect to see in the game coming out this fall? And if you enjoy Spider-Man coverage like this, click subscribe, hit the like button. I'll see you on the next video. Bye.